So you've got a website, you've got Google Search Console set up on it, you're pumping out content, and you're looking at console and you're thinking, why are half my pages not indexing? Well, let me tell you, it's not personal. It's not that Google doesn't like you. It's just that there's something about your content that Google doesn't appreciate or they don't think it's worth ending up on the index. So let's jump into the 7 different things that you can do, the 7 different facets that you need to consider when it comes to how you're writing your content in order for you to almost guarantee that you won't only end up on the index, but you're going to dominate search results. Let's jump right into it. So, why isn't my page indexed? Does Google hate me? No, it's not personal. It's something about your content. And so we're going to look at a bunch of factors and we're going to start with analyzing the keyword, okay? A lot of these things are going to sound SEO focused, and they sort of are, because the index is the first step to ranking. The first thing that you can do to know that Google appreciates what you're doing is end up on the index. And then as you continue to grow in your influence, you will grow in your rankings. But if you get this right the first time, when you get indexed, there's a chance you get indexed very highly. So, and I'm talking like page one. So let's jump right into that and talk about keyword focus. Now, my colleague sent me this website and he said, "Hey, I'm going through the things that I just described, which is I have this website, I have Google Search Console, I'm creating content, but not everything's getting indexed." And so I said, "Send me one of the pages and tell me what keyword you're targeting in order to figure out this problem, in order to reverse engineer how we can get this thing not only on the index, but get it ranking, get it some traffic, right?" And so what he did was he told me, "Okay, what I'm targeting is best free plugins for mixing." I said, "Okay, cool." And so I pulled up the search results for it and I pulled up his page. Now, the first thing obviously that I can attack here is the keyword itself is not being addressed in the URL or in the title. And so, yeah, you could rank for something search related to this, top 10 VST3 plugins, for instance, or free VST3 plugins, anything like that. But if that's the case, then that's the keyword we should be targeting. Now, considering that this is the keyword he's saying he's targeting, when I pull this up, I'm using keywords everywhere and it shows zero volume. I don't care about indexing or ranking for zero volume keywords. And so what I'm going to do is go and look at related keywords, and you can see best mastering plugins free has a very similar search intent, but it has way higher volume. And so that tells me that Google says this is the general phrase that people are using, or something like this phrase that people are using to find the content that you're trying to create, that you're trying to rank for, okay? I want to target keywords that have volume. It doesn't have to be a lot of volume, but zero doesn't really get my heart pumping. So that's step one, understanding what keyword you're focusing on. And that is going to lay the foundation for the next step, which is going to be search intent. You have your keyword. Now you need to now you need to understand what people want when they search for this, because that's how the SERPs work. That's how Google works. They're trying to serve up the most relevant result, the most relevant solution for the search term, for the problem that you're presenting them. So even without looking at the page, looking at the keyword best mastering plugins free, what do they want? They want a list of plugins because it's multiple, it's plural, right? The plugins are for mastering, and they want to know which ones are good, which ones are worth their time, and they don't want to pay anything for them. Okay, so you know this is the search intent, and that sounds basic, but if you're not accepting that when you get started in the content creation, then you're really missing out on what Google's looking for. So understand your audience. If you're trying to rank, if you're trying to index, Google is your audience, and your customer, your viewer is your secondary audience in a sense. Now, we have the search intent figured out. We have a keyword focus. Now let's talk about content quality, okay? There's many ways to think about content quality, but rather than just looking at the quality of the content of the page that my colleague sent me, I want to look at the quality of the content that is ranking, because I want to meet or surpass that content quality, and Google tells us pretty much how to do that. So let's take a look at the competition and what is the content quality. There are many different factors to content quality, but there are a couple that are entirely analytical. So let's start with those because they don't take any creative thinking, right? So we'll just take this And we'll get to the end of the article and I will, yep, this is the end. I will paste this into word counter. This article has 983 words of content. So that is a good thing to know. You want to know. Now, don't just start with one. That's naive. This is the featured snippet. I would love to have the featured snippet, but I'd also be just as happy to end up on, result 1 or 2. So let's take a look at all of them. Result number 2, which is actually number 1 on the SERPs. The first result we looked at was the featured snippet. Let's take the title and bam, right to the end. This is all upsell. This is the end of the article. So let's just take what's in the article, throw it in there. Bam, 3,100 words. Okay, this is a shorter article. This is a longer article. 3,100 words is a significantly long article. And what that's telling me is that Google is okay with you having a very content-rich, very dense page for this topic because they recognize that part of the intent is looking at a lot and comparing a lot of results. Okay, now the third one, which is rank number 2. Okay, and we'll just jump to the bottom of this. And bam, I would count all of this as part of the article. 1,392 words. Okay, 1,400 words. So you've got a range of like roughly 1,000 words to roughly 4,000 words. And not right in the middle, but in between them is 1,400 words. So my target would be in the 1,100 to 1,800 word range for this article, just roughly. And I'm kind of just coming off the cuff with it, right? So what I want to do here is throw them in Hemingway. Let's take a look at what's the readability like. Okay, you've got a readability of a grade 7. That's awesome. It's very accessible. Anybody who reads this article could understand it pretty much. Grade 9, again, a little bit more complicated, but acceptable. Grade 9 is about as high as you want your content to be in terms of readability. And then we've got the third one, which was the featured snippet, grade 5. So Google is saying the more readable this is, the more we value the content to some degree. So is this the be all and end all, the content length and the readability? No, but it's definitely a crucial factor. So going beyond that, there is a facet to all of this that is not so analytical, but is more logical or more contemplative, where we can look at, well, first of all, let's compare our colleagues' result against theirs and see how long is it and how readable is it. It is about the length that I'm talking about is ideal, so that's fantastic. You got the length right. How about readability? The readability is grade 12 and it's yellow because you're literally eliminating 40 to 60% of the audience's ability to read this, if not more, because the average person reads at like the 6th to 8th grade level. And so you need to, again, have your secondary audience in mind. If your first audience is Google and everything is grade 5 to 9, you need to be in that range of grade 5 to 9 comprehension. And your secondary audience, you need to be thinking about them too. What good is putting out the content at grade 12 readability if that only serves like 30% of the population or less, right? So that is the content, that's the concept of content quality and in regards to the SERP results, right? So we went into pretty deep detail about the SERP results, and let's talk about the concept of the content quality from the contemplative side, like we talked about. Now, one of the factors is content gaps and just what the content is covering. And so, without getting out of order here, talking about the SERP results, talking about content quality, understanding readability plays a huge role is part of it, but actually the next points that we get into cover more details about content quality. So let's talk about the content gaps. Okay? When you can use AI to do this process for you or help you with it, right? And basically, what I did was I asked it to analyze the top three ranking articles and identify any content gaps that exist. I want to know what one of these or more of these articles are talking about that the other ones aren't, as well as things that they could be talking about but they're missing out on. So I want to rank for this keyword. I want to outperform all of them. Tell me what I can do a better job providing the searcher with what they're looking for in the article I'm writing. And so again, this is ultimately addressing content quality, but it's addressing content quality in the scope of what Google is ranking, what Google considers to be worthwhile, okay? So what I did was I told it, first of all, the keyword we're targeting, and then I literally pasted in the content from those articles. All right? Let's get rid of this so it doesn't distract you. Bam. And it very quickly spit out a result. And it told us this is what the foundation of these articles is. Essentially, they're saying we covered all these topics in the articles. This is what they did well. And so, if you're going to write an article, don't miss these 3 points. You need to do what they're all doing well, but you need to do better. You need to do more. And so, what it does next is identifies all these content gaps and it tells you more in-depth walkthroughs, genre-specific recommendations, etc. I don't want to read them all off to you and waste your time, but just know that AI will tell you all these things. And you can start right here analyzing it, arguing with the AI, and giving your own personal take on it to get closer to what you believe is an improvement on the content quality. But you could literally lean on AI the way that we're doing right here, and it will immediately improve the quality of your content. Now, what I did after that, showing it those three results that we looked at, I put in my colleague's article and I said, hey, this is my article. And I asked it, hey, how can I change it, improve it, etc., to make it rank for this keyword and implement the content that covers those gaps? So again, I'm leaning on it and I'm saying, hey, tell me now from this content, what am I missing? What am I doing wrong? And it gives you detailed instructions. So definitely don't follow them to a T, but consider them. Read it, talk to the AI about it. And so now that is going to make a huge jump in content gaps and content quality because you are showing Google, hey, not only do I do everything that the top articles do, but I do more and I do better. And that's part of, like, honestly, I could stop the video here because those are secrets. Those are very powerful techniques and approaches that you can do when it comes to writing an article to dominate a keyword, okay? The next secret, this is crucial. Add your unique point of view. So, what I like to do is I like to do voice to text because when I'm doing that, I'm in a conversational tone and I'm expressing myself. And so I'm going to write a draft article and say, or I'm going to take their draft article, the AI's draft article, and I could even tell it to do this. Hey, can you make those improvements for me? And it's going to write me a draft. It might say yes or no, but essentially it ought to write me a draft. And what I do once I get that draft, exactly, look at this, improved version of your article. What I'll do is I'll take out the microphone, and you can do this on your phone if you're not going to use a fancy GUI like I do, and I'll start recording and I'll say, I'm literally reading the article as I record out loud, but instead of reading the article word for word, I'm reading it and giving my own personal take on it. So I'm going to say like, um, in this article, I'm going to tell you what I think the best plugins are, and I'm going to tell you why that is. And so again, you're changing this language from kind of being dry to being personal. And then literally do that. If you've used you lean loudness meter, talk about what you liked about it, talk about what you didn't like about it, talk about why it made the list, and talk about what it could do to make sure it never leaves the list, or talk about the feature that it's missing that you wish it had. Literally take your opinion and make the article about that. And I'm not telling you to write the article from scratch, but add your personal touch to it. That is a huge factor to, Google's content quality guidelines, essentially, is don't just spit out generic information. Tell me why your opinion matters and tell me your opinion. Now, one of the ways that you can do that, and one of the ways that you can take more of these search results is doing what I'm doing right now and making a personalized video, sharing your angle, sharing your perspective, and doing it in your own voice, right? And it's so much easier to do once you have this article because now you can go and talk about what you liked in this article or what was really the main takeaways as far as you're concerned. So, doing that is going to like improve, implement, strengthen your EEAT. What's EEAT? Expertise, authority, trustworthiness, and the other one I can't remember, but it's not important. The truth about EEAT is you need to show that you're a real person, you have a real opinion, and you have real skin in the game. So the thing I'm going to cap all this off with is don't write content if you don't care about it. Don't make a website if you're not passionate about the topic, or at least you don't have some investment or you interest in the topic, because your unique perspective, your unique opinion is going to make a huge difference, and it's going to create alignment and authority and trust throughout your whole website. So take this approach to improving your content and understanding how to create content so that not only is Google going to index it, because they want to index this. They're saying, listen, this guy took the time to write an article that is as good, if not better, than the stuff that we're serving up that we think is the most intention, the most search intent for this keyword. And he's putting his own spin. He's putting his own take. You deserve to be in the index if you do that, and you just might deserve to be #1 ranked too. So I look forward to seeing what result you do, what result you have once you implement these changes. And I hope that everyone who gets to see this take something away from this as well, not just my friend here. If you have any questions at all, I'm here to help. I love to answer your questions. I love to make these videos. And so go ahead, drop them in the comments or shoot me an email, and I will go ahead and go into greater detail because I could go off on any one of those things and, really give you the keys to the kingdom. So look forward to seeing you in the next one.